Opening with the queen's pawn controls the center and usually leads to a more positional development of the pieces. The Indian game begins by controlling the important e4 square with the knight, rather than a pawn. Knight f3 develops the knight toward the center, gains more control over the e5 square, and strengthens the d4 pawn. e6 prepares the d7-d5 pawn push, while also opening up lines for the dark-squared bishop. Bishop f4 develops the dark-squared bishop to an active diagonal where it controls the center. That's fine. Moving from its starting spot, the knight gets involved in the game. A very strong play. The bishop is ready to be developed to an active square. This activates a knight by developing it off of its starting square. Very precise. This prepares the bishop for development. This pins a knight to the king. This offers an equal trade of pieces. This is an equal trade. Recaptures. Castling kingside tends to be safer than queenside because the king is further from the center. Both kings are castled and ready for the middle game. This overlooks an opportunity to develop a rook off its starting square. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. Takes back. After all captures, this is an equal trade. Recaptures. This blocks white's pawn. This is an equal trade. Takes back. This defends the attacked knight. This connects the rooks, which helps them work together. This wins time by threatening a queen and forcing it to move away. This moves the queen to safety. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. Takes back. This activates a rook by getting it to the 7th rank and also restricts the king. This fights against the other rook for the open file. This defends the attacked rook. This protects an under-defended rook that is under attack. This is the strongest option. After all captures, this is an equal trade. Recaptures. putting the piece on a blockade square. This move puts the queen on a safer square. This wins a tempo by threatening a queen and forcing it to move away. This moves the queen to safety. The rook is now on an open file, which helps control squares across the board. This threatens to tactically win a queen. This stops the opponent from being able to tactically win a queen. Takes back. This is the start of the endgame, and white is equal. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This blocks white's pawn. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This is not the right idea. The game was close to equal, but now white is in a losing position. Only one move worked there, and this wasn't it. This allows the opponent to eventually win a pawn. This is the way to win a pawn. This steps away from the checking knight. That was a free pawn. Right on target. Black had an advantage, but now the game is close to equal. One of the best moves. There was only one good move there. This is a fair move. Black's knight has moved to a square with greater activity and control. Now black can't stop white from winning a pawn if they make the right moves. This threatens to set up a blockade. This is the only move that works. This moves the knight to safety. This is the only good move. This defends the attacked pawn. The pawn is now passed because it can no longer be challenged by pawns as it tries to promote. That knight was free for the taking. This threatens to tactically win a pawn. This stops the opponent from being able to tactically win a pawn. Pushing a passed pawn. This threatens to win a pawn through an eventual fork. This stops the opponent from being able to win a pawn through an eventual fork. Very precise. The game was close to balanced, but now this is the only move that works. The passed pawn moves toward. This is the only good move. The knight finds a new active square. This evades the check from the knight. Only one move worked there, and this wasn't it. This overlooks an opportunity to defend a pawn that was under attack. This moves the knight to safety. The game was close to equal, but now white has the advantage. There was only one good move there. This stops the opponent from being able to win a pawn through a fork. White's knight has moved to a square with greater activity and control. This is the only move that works. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. This is the strongest option. This defends the attacked pawn. That's fine. This is the only good move. This misses a much better move. Recaptures. That pawn was free for the taking. This overlooks an opportunity to promote a pawn to a piece. That was a free pawn. Right on target. White lost their winning advantage, and now the game is close to equal. Only one move worked there, and this wasn't it. Very precise. A solid choice. This is the strongest option. Right on target. This move puts the pawn on a safer square. A very strong play. One of the best moves. That pawn was free for the taking. This stops the opponent from being able to eventually win a pawn. A solid choice. Very precise. That was a free pawn. The game is still close to even, but white lost their winning advantage. This prevents the opponent from being able to eventually win a pawn. Now, black can't stop white from winning a pawn if they make the right moves. This is the only good move. That pawn was free for the taking. Pushing a passed pawn. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. Pushing a passed pawn. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. Pushing a passed pawn. This threatens to eventually win a pawn. The pawn reaches the back rank and promotes to a queen. This is the strongest option. This is the only move that works. This steps away from the checking queen. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This evades the check from the queen. This threatens to tactically win a queen. This prevents the opponent from being able to tactically win a queen. This is a fair move. This steps away from the checking queen. A very strong play. This steps away from the checking queen. This moves the knight to safety. This loses a queen. White finds a nice tactic with just seconds to spare, winning a queen. Takes back. There were worse moves, but also something much better. This overlooks a better way to evade the check from the opposing queen. This continues the checkmate threat. One of the best moves. This is still on the road to checkmate. A solid choice. This continues down the road to checkmate. This continues the checkmate threat. Right on target. This is still on the road to checkmate.